Recording.
Here we go.
Here we go. Welcome to a cup of a celebrity with Melissa Nicole and
Myself, Lynn Lee.
so here I go again, getting all like choked up.
She's shy, you guys. She's shy.
This is why I have house wine in my hand to loosen up. So, cup of celebrity. This is our podcast. We're starting a podcast to talk about all the celebrity gossip and just chit chat every week.
We just want to indulge in celebrity gossip in the lives of others. We do not live judgment free, worry free, and just be able to just indulge in this gossip and somehow relate it back to our own lives. Because I feel like with everything that goes on in celebrities' lives, we can definitely take something from it and learn from it.
So we just like to understand celebrity. Like celebrity is such like a lucrative world that we just want to understand it and understand where these celebrities are coming from because they're real people. But like obviously like we question all the things they do. We question how the industry works and the PR of it all. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. We're gonna talk about like the latest news of the week and just take a deep dive into all the stories going on. Okay, who we are. So, do you want to talk about how this came to be?
Okay, so currently I am just a person who works in social media marketing for a clinic, but I've always been into celebrity gossip. And when Melissa and I met each other in college, we could always talk about celebrities and it would just be how do I say this? I feel like I just love seeing, I can gush about celebrity gossip and not be judged, and you just kind of have that connection. And then it's also the celebrities' lives are plastered everywhere and they're just there for your own judgment and entertainment, which I take in both. I judge and I also am very entertained by the celebrity gossip.
Oh yeah, definitely. And like this is just something that we like completely bonded over in college, and it's something that we get back to today. Like we're always constantly sending each other like all these news articles and TikToks and like whatever we see, we're like, oh my god, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you hear about this? And yeah, so why not just record it all and um, give to the world as well?
I'm like, oh my god, Melissa, she just gets me. Like when Ariana Grande got engaged for the second time, like who else would care as much as me? I'm like, and I've always said like, oh my god, we need to do this podcast. For years we have said it, so we are finally putting it into fruition.
Yes. So this week, well, I guess this is kind of like this week and last week's news that we're gonna be going over for a little bit. This week's I put this week's hot pour. I don't even know. I made that up on the whim. But the top news right now is Bill Gates' divorce. So they've been married for oh my god, what is it, like 20 something years?
Yes, over 25 years, because there was a tweet that he had wished her happy anniversary. It's their 25th year, and he's like, I can't wait for 25 more years with you. And I think it was on the Twitter handle, it was like poorly aged things. And I feel like that's why the stock market today has been going down, because Bill Gates is so okay, he's not like a huge investor. He has Microsoft. Well, he's not CEO anymore, but I feel like with the news it's like so worrying because Bill and Melinda both have this huge gigantic foundation together called the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, where they donate so much to organizations, and it's just insane to me. I think their divorce had an effect on the stock market today, and it also kind of makes you wonder, like, you have been together for almost 30 years. You guys are in your late 50s, 60s. Like, why are you getting a divorce? That just begs the
Right?
question. And I feel like it's because someone wants out for someone else. So it's like, is Bill
Oh,
Gates.
you think that there's like a triangle going on?
I do think so, because they are such a dynamic power couple and they are just so strong together. It just makes no sense for me as to why they would divorce, because they are such a unit together. And I feel like I don't know. I feel like at that age, it's like, why are you gonna divorce?
Yeah, I honestly, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm like, why after like the empire that you've built, all of a sudden it's just done. And okay, they had apparently they don't have a prenup, and they're gonna be dividing estimated $130 billion.
Yeah, I think that kind of money, I feel like they wouldn't be affected by that kind of divorce because it's not like they're regular people who are fighting over $100,000 worth of stuff. No, they already are billionaires, and the billions that they have and what they'll get from each other, it doesn't seem like it would make that much of a difference to them. I think when it comes to that kind of money, when it comes to the billionaire class, the money doesn't matter. I think I think the most significant change will be for the children. Even though I think there are grown adults, I think they're like around our age, it's still a shift, and I think money wise it doesn't make a difference because they're already billionaires.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were talking about like a third person in their party, but let's talk about the third person interested in Chloe's relationship yet again. The first time when he cheated on her, she was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and then there was drama with what's her name again? Jordan.
Jordan Woods.
Yeah, Jordan Woods, right?
Yes.
Like apparently they kissed or something, and then
Mm-hmm.
Chloe still went back to him, and
Mm-hmm.
then news comes out again that he cheated on her again, and it's like, I mean, everyone was kind of like not surprised, like the reaction that I'm seeing on social media, like people are just like, Chloe, like you gotta leave.
I think that this is just so pathetic because when the Kardashians first came out, Chloe was my favorite. First of all, she's so strong, she's so fierce, she's so hilarious, and she is always like really defensive about the ones that she loves, like especially when Scott was mistreating Courtney. Like Chloe hated him. She's like, I'll punch him in the face, you know? And so for me to see her be so sense like weak and just fragile when it comes to Tristan, it's definitely not the Chloe that I grew up watching. So I don't know why she took him back after Jordan Woods. I don't know why she even took him back after she just gave birth. But you know what? We don't understand her, and I think that's the human side of even the Kardashians. They have an empire. They have millions and millions of dollars. I can definitely spare her some compassion because I feel like growing into her fame, they ridiculed her as the ugly sister, as the quote quote fat sister. So I think her self esteem has definitely been shot, and I think Tristan, just superficially speaking, is the most attractive guy she's ever been with. And I think also she really is a family person, and I think she really wanted to keep the family together, having Drew with her dad. And at the end of the day, she's human, and if she loves him, then we're just here to judge and be entertained.
What? Does she love him? Does she? Because I've even seen like I don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians anymore, but like she always talks about how like she wants to have a family, like a bigger family, to add someone to her family, and her and Tristan were planning to have another kid, but like she wanted to do it the not romantic way, where she's gonna get her egg and his sperm and put it together, and then inject it into herself. Like so, it's such a off relationship, like now, like, and this news on top of it, like, I don't know, like, I get where you're coming from because like we don't know like all the trauma she's been through just being in the spotlight, and she even put her statement out about yeah being the ugly sister and all that stuff, and how the media has kind of like destroyed her in that way, but oh man, like she always seemed like the person who had like a little more sense from her sisters,
Hmm.
and yeah, love is blind, man.
Yes, oh my gosh. And speaking of Chloe, with her whole picture thing and her trying to like take down people who are spreading the photo, it's just like I understand the insecurity, but also at the same time, she makes millions every time she does a sponsored Instagram post. And I think there are screenshots of her doing like screenshots for like teas or just some kind of diet product. And even Kim has done before like some diet lollipop. So it's like, okay, you feel the pressure, but you're also putting that pressure back onto us too when you post
Yeah.
these edited photos, the edited video. Like you are adding into the beast that you are a victim, quote quote, of.
Yeah, really. She creates it. She's a part of it. She's one of the leaders of this whole thing. Like,
Yeah, I think Tristan is also younger than her. So
oh
I just never took her as someone who would be so smitten and deeply involved with someone younger than her, because even in her I feel like her she has a history of dating older men. So I think there's just something that comes from dating a really young guy who is in the NBA. And also it seems like he's also chasing fame himself, that like
yeah.
he chose to just continue to be with Chloe even though he purposely mistreats her and cheats on her. It's that relationship, there's so much to take away from. And I think the biggest thing is like Chloe's insecurity is causing her to not be able to rise up from these situations.
Yeah. Oh man, I hope she just one day is just like, you know what? Fuck everything. F everything and like just I don't know. Tristan's so yeah, he's 30 years old and he doesn't seem like he's trying to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm like, in a way, I can feel a little bit of compassion for her because it does seem like she's really sweet. Like, she loves love and she loves her family. And I even remember one time her Instagram about me, maybe it's still that. I unfollowed her. But it said, I crave a love as deep as the ocean. So you can already tell, like, she's like a hopeless romantic.
yes.
Even though, like, on the show for the early years, she was portrayed as like really tough and aggressive. Like that one time she like slapped Scott or something. So it's really crazy how she's changed and, dare I say, devolved, because it seems like she's
Oh,
becoming weaker. But I'm not sure.
yeah, she's definitely letting the industry use her rather than her use the industry.
I like that phrase. Now our next topic is not a friend, but an enemy of the Kardashians. Miss Taylor Swift. Miss Taylor Swift re-released her Fearless re-recordings. So the whole thing with Scooter buying her masters, she was gonna re-record all of her albums, and she re-recorded Fearless. And the song that I liked the most was one that was pulled from the vault. I like the song Mr. Perfectly Fine, which is about Joe Jonas actually, and then his wife Sophia actually Instagram story saying like it's not a
Not a
bop.
bop. I love that.
It's a bop.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say I'm so glad she recorded it, re-recorded her album, and it sounds exactly the same. I was low key like worried because the same thing happened with JoJo. Do you remember JoJo, like Leave Get Out
Yeah,
JoJo? The same thing happened with her album. So she re-recorded her album, but she like obviously changed it because she grew and she's a little more mature and she changed when she re-recorded it. She changed it up obviously, and that bummed me out because I was like, no, like I missed the original ones. Like I love that sound, and the re-recording of Fearless is like exactly how it was, and I love it so much.
yes, I agree. I do notice that her voice has matured a lot, but she
Yeah.
definitely kept in the same range and the tone and the pitches and stuff. It's just that her voice is a little bit older, and I still like it a lot. I was like re-listening to everything, and I was like, I can't wait for the Speak Now album, the Red album, the 1989 album. I was like, I hope she redoes the 1989 tour because we missed out on that one. We were broke college students, but I hope she redoes it again.
I know that's one of my favorite albums. And then yeah, Mr. Perfectly Fine. Like if you haven't heard it, please listen to it. It's like Joe Jonas's wife said, like it's not a bop. Okay. And then last quick news. This is actually from last week, which is Demi Lovato going off on a yogurt shop, frozen yogurt shop. Where do I start with Demi? I love Demi from like the beginning. And even when she like went through her dark days and like her first was it her first documentary? I don't remember the name at the moment, but just her being so vulnerable and honest and like I stand Demi so much. But last week she like went off on a yogurt shop in LA because they had guilt-free yogurt or something like that, like some saying that she wasn't a fan of, saying that it was triggering for her, and she was going off on this on the small business and like saying like not only that but they were rude and all this stuff. And I mean, she tried to retract it. She had a video afterwards saying like, okay, like she misspoke and she understands that like other people have diabetes and like they need that sugar-free yogurt
Hmm.
and all that stuff. I don't know. I feel like Demi's kind of going through something right now.
I think Demi goes through something almost every time she's in the news, and I feel like in a way she kind of like backtracks to like I I used to be a drug addict, like I overdosed, feel bad for me. And it's like, okay, people do understand what you went through, but in this instance, like people are not gonna be kind to you because you're misusing your power and influence and audience to go after a small business, which I'm so disappointed that her fans actually went to the Yelp page of that yogurt shop
Oh my
and
god,
wrote
yeah.
terrible reviews. And it's just like, oh my God, like sometimes the sword of social media goes through the wrong thing. And I think with Demi, it's like you want to like her and you can't because she's insanely talented. She's more talented than some of her peers that she grew up with because of her voice and her range and how strong her voice is. It's just disappointing that outside of her musicry and her artistry, it's lacking something for you to like. Okay, it's like when you see a celebrity, they're very talented, but they're also kind and giving. It makes you like them even more. And I
Yeah.
feel like with Demi, the most you can like and what you stop at is her talent. Like everyone knows she's talented, but do we like her as a person?
I didn't watch her Dancing with the Devil documentary, her new one. But like I've watched a few TikToks about people talking about it, and like I must have been on like hate Demi TikTok because a lot of them were pretty negative. But a lot of people were saying like, okay, like her first documentary was like, okay, yeah, we understand, like this is where you're coming from. But her second one, it just seemed like she's now monetizing her addiction and her self harm, and that's triggering for people. And one person I watched on TikTok said that she said that she was surrounding herself with the wrong people, and so she changed her whole team. And the girl was breaking it down, saying like she didn't like her people because they weren't yes people, and she changed her team because she wanted people who were yes people for her that will let her do, and what was it called, the California, oh god, what did she call it, Demi Lova's California.
Yeah, I did watch Demi's first documentary and I feel like it did bring a new light to her and it was like okay, it's not that you pity her but you understand where she's coming from and also she shows some sides of her that you wouldn't have expected, like when she was talking about her like dating life and that she said that this girl was really hot and I was like okay, like usually like celebrities like when they come out they kind of make it like a little bit big thing, but I feel like hers is just casual because like sexuality it is casual. And her second one, now I haven't watched it, but part of me feels like she's milking it. It's like, yes, we know that you were a drug addict and that you almost died. Like, we also want to like move on and see your growth as well. And like her coming after the yogurt shop does not display any sign of growth. It's
Yeah.
just privilege and regression.
Yeah. Okay, so she says that she's California sober, which means that like she's in recovery, but that also includes drinking alcohol and smoking in moderation, which I mean, you're not supposed to be doing that, right? I mean, I don't know too much about rehabilitation, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be like cold turkey.
Hmm.
Which makes me sad because I like was a serious Demi Lovato stan. I love her so much. I love her talent. I always listen to her albums like when it comes out. So it's up this last one, just because I'm just like, I think I don't know.
Yes, I really liked her album where the songs was like Daddy Issues, Ruin the Friendship,
Yes, that one.
that one. I was like, oh my god, these songs I listened to so much on repeat, and I was like, she's very vulnerable in when it comes to her song lyrics. So it's like, okay, there's so many avenues for you to like her, and then she always gets herself in trouble in bad publicity that you're like, okay, like, do I really want to buy a concert ticket to see you now? I'm conflicted.
Yeah, definitely. So the topic of the week is Kim and Kanye's divorce, which we cannot get enough of on the news. But like I even though I could be like so over the Kardashian news, like I will still read it.
Hmm.
So yeah, what are your thoughts on Kim Ye?
I cannot believe that they are divorcing, but I can also see it because in the past few years, Kanye has definitely been a little bit off the rails, way too outspoken. I think if I was Kim, I think what would have been the first strike is not that he was running for president, but that because he divulged their own very personal fact that Kim was debating having an abortion for their first child, North. And I think that's such a violation of privacy
Yeah,
and trust.
little
It's like, why
details.
would you tell the whole world that? Like, I feel like that is something maybe Kim didn't even tell some of her siblings because it's so personal and it's just crazy to even think about because North is, present. And I think that was just something he didn't think about too hard because I'm also thinking about North. It's like, do you really want to know that your parents almost aborted you? Like, what would that do for your self esteem and the
Mhm.
trauma? But I feel like Kim is such a smart woman and she seems very loving and sweet. So I feel like she was able to, probably just comfort North, but in a way, she shouldn't have done that because Kanye shouldn't have said that in the first place. And I think in the beginning, like them being together just made so much sense because he loves himself and he loves Kim as much as he loves himself, and
Yeah,
Kim loves people who loves her. So it's like they were just like a
I
great
know.
match.
Match made in
And
heaven, it seemed. I mean, do you think a lot of it has to do with the show? Because that's what I was thinking. Like, just I know Kanye like never wanted to be on camera. He didn't want his kids on camera, and like he wants to live a private life, And then Kim's life is literally like to be public. That's how she gets her money. That's how she gets her fame, and um, I don't know. I feel like that could have possibly like just dwindled their relationship. Do you think it would be the TV show?
I don't think it was the TV show because he already knew that she was famous when they first got together. And even when they first got together, Kanye was barely in the show. And throughout the, 7, 8 years they've been together, like Kanye has never been a significant plot line or even a person we see often on the show. I think it's because they are becoming different now. I think in the beginning, like they were like years younger, and I think they probably have the same mentality of like let's be bigger than what we are. Let's try to be a power couple. But now it's like okay, we don't really know what's going on in Kanye's mind, and Kim seems to be the kind of like the same person except she's a mom, she's gonna become a lawyer, but she's still the same person as in she's still a businesswoman. She has skims going on. And Kanye, I think, I don't know, I feel like I've read that he has just been spending so much time in Wyoming, and I think when you're a married couple you should spend a lot of time together. And I think maybe something happened in the distance, like the physical distance of them not being together. I think people get comfortable in whatever situation they're in and they get used to it. So maybe they got used to the distance.
Wow. Never heard that perspective. I didn't think that. But like, I mean, for Kanye, I know he's such a deep person and has such a deep mind, creative mind that I'm like, I don't really quite understand like what happened in their relationship.
Yeah, sources were saying that it has definitely a lot to do with his Twitter rants. And didn't he leak like Kylie's phone number, or was that someone else that leaked it, or Rob or something? But he was comparing himself to Get Out the movie, and he said they wrote that movie for me. But it's like, okay, you know, the guy did not know that the family was going to be like this, and it's like you have known Kim way longer before you guys even officially got together. It's like you knew that they are these people who became famous and they want to continue being famous. So it's like I don't know what. I have no idea. They're I don't know. I feel like they just grew apart from each other, to put it simply.
Yeah, and I mean that happens a lot too.
There was like this TikTok that I saw that supposedly that she's already like dating someone,
Oh
and
yeah.
was he's like a political commentator on CNN. He is also black. His name is like Van something. Do you know who I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about?
I remember looking him up, but I
He
mean, I
interviewed Kim before too.
yeah, I mean, dating or not, like I remember also reading like one article that like their relationship was just something like weighing so heavily on Kim that now that the divorce is like in full effect, like now she kind of like can breathe easier and she's like just trying to enjoy life from like a close root source to them.
Hmm.
And like honestly, yeah, good for her. Like she stuck through and she never like talked bad about Kanye ever. Like she's just so elegant and like poised and she's made for the limelight. Am I right?
Definitely. I think with her recent studies, and I'm sure they've had media training and PR sessions, that she is very aware of the words that she speaks. And also, I remember in an interview, I don't know if it was with Jennifer Lawrence was interviewing her in place of Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, and Kim said something along the lines of, "It's like I know that one day the kids of the parents I speak of, they're gonna one day watch this, and I just don't want to say anything that I wouldn't want the kids to hear."
Mm.
I think like Jennifer Lawrence asked her like, "Do you think OJ did it?" And that's when Kim was like, "I just know their kids are gonna watch this one day, so I'm not gonna say anything." So it's gonna be interesting to see how the kids are gonna be with the parents. Like, is Kanye gonna buy a house in LA? Is he gonna stay in Wyoming? Like, how does that work? Because kids have to go to the same school for the whole year,
Yeah.
and too much traveling is just too much for a kid.
Yeah. And they're doing like I think I remember reading that they're doing joint custody. So
Yeah, and I read like before that, Kim couldn't really get into contact with Kanye, and that she would have to speak to him through his bodyguards. And I feel like that's such a Kanye thing to do. Not well, I think it is very petty because that's the mother of your children, your four kids, and
yeah.
you're gonna have a messenger in between, like playing telephone, getting the messages all misconstrued. It's I don't know. I'm also really interested to hear how they are gonna like settle their finances because Kim was on a podcast with Ashley Graham, the model, and
Mm.
she said that Kanye had gifted her like Disney stocks, Apple stocks, and also
Oh yeah,
ownership in
I remember
Yeezy.
that.
So it's like what is Yeezy gonna become?
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. I mean, I would imagine that it's not going to be like a crazy battle for, I don't know. I want to think that they're just very like cordial with each other, and I mean that's what I perceive from them. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, it would be Kanye is the one that's the firecracker, and Kim is just the observer and just taking it all in because I think she
Mhm.
wants to. I think being a mom, she will do whatever the kids want and whatever is best for the kids. So it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see how this plays out. And now that she's studying law,
Oh my
I
god.
wonder
Yeah. I
like will
remember
she like
that.
represent herself in the court or like And I wonder, like, who are they gonna be with after this? Because they are gonna be a divorce. They're probably no longer like romantically involved with each other. It's interesting because I saw this tweet saying that what if Kanye got with um Azealia Banks? Like, she's a wild one as well. So it's like two volcanoes coming together if they were to get
Oh my
together.
god. Oh my god, it's just so weird I never even thought about who they end up with because we said like they just seem so perfect together. And now it's like, oh dang, who are they gonna end up with? I could definitely see Kanye with some like crazy celebrity or like some just wild one. And then Kim, I could definitely maybe see her settling down with someone who's a little more serious.
I agree. I feel like she would settle for someone who's like reminiscent of her father because her father is such like a family guy, so I feel like she would want someone who's very
Mhm.
into family and would take on that stepdad role
Yeah.
seamlessly and perfect.
Oh yeah. All right. So last thing on the agenda today, last sips.
Mhm.
We already talked about Chloe. We talked about Kim, and now we have Kourtney Kardashian.
Courtney. So it's just the last few sips of the tea. So I put in that we should talk about Kourtney Kardashian's birthday because it was recently her birthday in like late April, and it's just so interesting how she doesn't care to be a celebrity, but she is, and also she's dating Travis Barker, who is part of Blink 182. And it's
Hmm.
just been so interesting to see how much she's changed and evolved, especially because she was so mistreated by Scott. And in the YouTube comments of the Kardashian clips, people want Scott and Kourtney to get back together. I feel like, okay, in a fairy tale and a happy ending, that would make sense, but they are just not good for each other. And I think I kind of love seeing Scott in despair with Kourtney being with someone else. And Scott is problematic already, so I don't think Kourtney should ever get back with him.
No. And I think Kourtney knows that for sure. Like, she definitely wants Scott around for the kids. But I mean, she is so, oh my god, the PDA that her and Travis Barker have. And like, it's cute though, because she just looks so genuinely happy. And
And
what happened
I
today? What did she do?
For her birthday, I was following it for a little bit now. I totally forgot, but we just wanted to wish Kourtney Kardashian a happy birthday because she is very honest and she's hilarious. And I feel like I love her gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free lifestyle because I think that's
Uh-huh.
the ideal healthy lifestyle that I would pursue on the weekdays. And I just love how she also like one time she actually spoke in in the White House. I think she spoke in Congress or the House of Representatives because she's very like anti-chemicals.
Uh-huh.
So you know how there's so many chemicals in the plastic, especially when it comes to like baby toys and also makeup that we don't really think about.
Hmm.
So she was kind of like the spokesperson for this lobbying group who wanted to push something forward to have less chemicals in like toys and food and makeup because compared to Europe, the US, we allow a lot more chemicals and byproducts into our products versus in Europe, they're much more strict.
Hmm. Wow, go Courtney.
Yeah, go Courtney.
I just want to say, I remember like listening to this one Twitter rant that was like, we all need to show Courtney love because she carried the whole show on her damn back. Like she
Hmm.
always she had to expose her relationship with Scott and all her drama. And like when it came to Chloe, she never wanted to share. When it came to Kim, she don't want to share her drama. But Courtney laid it all out there for the whole world to judge her. And yeah, she carried the show on her back, and we should be thankful.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I definitely saw that comment too on Twitter. It's like, oh my God, Scott's wildness, her giving birth, her getting pregnant 3 times. I think I like Courtney has given us so much without us realizing it. We're like, we are taking her for granted, but we're not taking you for granted, Queen. She is so funny, and I feel like there's a lot to learn from her, because there's a reason why she doesn't want to get married. It's because like her Chris and Robert Kardashian got a divorce, and I feel like that traumatized her. But in a way, I think that kind of like protected her, because let's say she did get married to Scott, like that would have been an instant divorce, either
Yeah,
1 month or
that's
1 year
true.
down the line. So I feel like she's really smart in protecting herself, but also like she knows how to have fun as well.
Hell yeah. Go Courtney.
Go Courtney. Sip, sip.
All right, so that was the last sip of tea that we have for this week. Oh my god, yeah, we finally filmed this episode. Um, and more to come.
Thank you for listening, and thank you for sipping.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.